coming back and being part of the U.S. team. All right, well, let's pick up the action here. The first competitor on the pommel horse, Razvan Selariu, the 23-year-old from Rešica. Best events are really floor and vault.
Pommel horse is a very tough event to start on, especially because you tend to be a little bit tighter than normal. So far, so good.
He had a 14.8 in the qualifying round. Once again, all week long, we've been talking about these new rules and new scores. It's a real adjustment period for the coaches, athletes, and even for the judges.
A little bit of a problem there towards the end. Lost a little bit of bonus. But other than that, a pretty good routine.
In the Romanian National Championship, Selariu was first in the all-around, first on the floor. An acceptable pommel horse routine there. Nothing really spectacular, but consistency is important. Okay, to the United States now. On the vault, Guillermo Alvarez out of Minnesota.
Does a nice Yurchenko double full. Very good.
He's a 23-year-old, originally out of Denver. Trains with Coach Mike Burns up there at the University of Minnesota.
Nice height, good distance. Typically, vault's one of his stronger events.
15.725 for Alvarez. Nicely done. Good start there for the American. A little more history. Only 2 American men have actually medaled in the all-around at the World Championships. They are Paul Hamm, who did it in 2003. And Blaine, you know the other one?
Isn't it you?
No. I'd like to say it was. Finished out of the medal. It was my teammate Kurt Thomas. Silver medal in the all-around in 1979. World Championships that year were held in Fort Worth, Texas. The first time they were ever held in the Western Hemisphere. Typically, prior to that, gymnastics was a very Eurocentric sport. Now we travel the globe to see gymnastics. This is Fabian Hambüchen from Germany. He qualified in 5th place into today's all-around final. Scored a 15.45 with his floor exercise.
That still amazes me. It still amazes me. Just 2.5. Punch Brenny. Punch double full. Very nice. There's 4.5. Full. Punch Rudy. This kid's got springs for legs.
He sure does. Already done 3 tumbling passes.
Nice flare sequence. See a lot of that. There's no more connection bonus for that particular flare sequence anymore.
Right. Germany finished 7th in the team final here. Hambüchen qualified to the floor and vault finals as well.
There's a nice stretch dive roll down the side.
We still don't know why he does that.
Lost there. Finishes with a nice full in, little hop. Very good routine, very good start for him.
Yeah, he wants to pump up that crowd.
He's always excited every time he finishes.
He used to wear those little round glasses. We call him Harry Potter. He was a very compelling and friendly character around the gym.
Nice high full in to finish.
The World Championships last year, he was 4th place on the high bar. And many people remember him, of course, from the Olympics. He was a high bar finalist there as well, placed 7th. We'll see more of Fabian Hambüchen. As you can tell, we're jumping all over the arena. We are live on WCSN. This is the Men's World All-Around Championships live from Aarhus, Denmark. 4 events going on simultaneously, a 4-ring circus, essentially. Adam Wong for Canada getting set to go. He will be performing on the pommel horse. The first gymnast on the horse was Selariu from Romania. We're still waiting on his score. That's another aspect to this new code of points.
A little bit of a drawback.
Yeah, it's, as we said earlier in the week, the gymnastics is similar to what we saw last year, some technical changes for the gymnasts and coaches, but the biggest difference with the new rules is just how much more complex it is for the judges to calculate these new scores. So sometimes the scores take a little bit longer to be tabulated.
Which definitely makes the meet a little longer.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Had a little bit of a problem on the one pommel sequence. Scissor full. A little sloppy with the feet. Not pretty. Staying on the horse. That's the most important thing about horse. This Magyar to Savato. Finishes with a nice Fedorchenko.
Not bad for the 21-year-old from Calgary. Qualified 10th into this all-around final.
Right here you get to see a good look at the one pommel sequence. Don't have a lot of room on that pommel to be moving your hands around.
The best Canadian finish ever in the all-around at the World Championships back in 1979 was Philip de la Salle. He took 12th place. Dmitry Savitsky now. Belarus.
Nice Yurchenko double full.
Good looking technique.
Very tight in the air. Good toe point. A lot of distance. Should score pretty well.
Savitsky's 22 years of age. 15.775 for that vault.
Nice high block. Good set before the double full.
Vaulting is typically a little bit higher scoring event than the other events, so after this first rotation of competition, it's likely that the guys who vaulted will be very high up there in the standings. Not every event is equally weighted these days. You know, pommel horse, a great pommel horse routine might be about 15 points, and yet a great vault is more like 16 points. It's hard to sort of tabulate the relative value of each of the events.
You won't be able to gauge until you get 3 or 4 events in.
That's right. Yang Wei, who is considered a favorite for a medal today, perhaps even gold. China already won the gold medal in the team competition here. Their 7th team gold medal in World Championship competition.
And this should be a pretty good floor set.
Yang Wei, like Tomita, a very balanced gymnast. He really does not have a weak event anywhere. The 26-year-old from Beijing, oldest member of the Chinese team.
Nice 4.5. Punch Rudy. Two and a half. Punch Branny. Very nice. Let's see it. Fedorchenko with some flares. Makes it look so easy.
Sure does. 2 Chinese men have won world all-around titles. Li Xiaoshuang did it in '95. And then Feng Jing in 2001. So they've won 7 team titles, but only 2 world all-around titles.
Wow. That was outstanding. Nice wide arm press to a wide arm straight body planche.
We first saw Yang Wei in the World Championships back in Tianjin, China, 1999. Took 3rd place on the high bar.
Finishes with a nice full in. Pretty good set overall.
Chinese men made some mistakes in the team competition, but they still managed to pull off the gold medal. That's how strong and deep this team is. Claudio Capelli will vault for Switzerland.
Nice handspring double front. A little low on the landing. You know, vault's one of those events that you have to talk to yourself at the end of the runway. A lot of times I would, you know, get mean, get tough. Gets into the tuck a little early and then opens up a little early. Result is a little bit of a low landing. Very high double front.
20-year-old who lives in Bern, Switzerland. 15.875 his score there. Tomita, the reigning world all-around champion, getting set for the floor exercise. Interesting point, the Japanese men have dominated gymnastics for so many years, but you have to go back to 1974 with their last world all-around champion previous to Tomita. That was Shigeru Kasamatsu. The year previous, in 1970, Eizo Kenmotsu won the world all-around title. Most of the titles went to athletes from the former Soviet Union. And as I mentioned, 4 athletes have won the world all-around title twice, going back to 1909 and 1913. Marcos Torres from France. Dmitry Bilazerchev won it in 1983 and 87. Yuri Korolev won it in 1981 and 85. Ivan Ivankov won it in 1994 and 97. So Tomita, the reigning world all-around champion, has an opportunity to go back-to-back. Never been done before. Martinez from Spain.
Nice fast swing. Good stretch. Tong Fei to a Fedorchenko. Straight into a Magyar. To another Sabato. You're going to see a lot of the same things on this event. Getting ready for a scissor sequence. Scissor pull. Finishes with a nice dismount. Very good routine.
Great start on the pommel horse for Martinez. 4th place in the all-around, the World Championships last year, the best ever for a Spanish gymnast. Tomita still waiting to get the green light for his floor performance. Once again, a byproduct of this transition to the new rules. Every once in a while, some of these scores take 5 to 6 minutes to be calculated.
I would be on the floor. I wouldn't be standing on the podium.
Yeah, I always liked, if I got stuck up there, I like to step off the podium and kind of catch my breath before I went back up there. Did you prefer that?
Yeah, I've tried it both ways, and standing up on the podium cost me for sure.
You're up there and everybody's watching you and you have too much time to think? Is that what happens?
That's the problem. You start thinking about your routine instead of just getting down and concentrating on the task at hand. What happens if I do this or do that?
Unfortunate delay for Tomita. And it looks like finally now he's going to get the green light. We'll be talking today and over the next couple of days about these new rules and how they've changed the sport somewhat. Are they good for gymnastics? The most notable difference with the new rules is there's no longer the perfect 10, is what they call an open-ended scoring system. The score is in 2 components. A score is your difficulty value, and B score is your execution value.
Nice 4.5 full Rudy.
Managed to not go out of bounds, but quite a balance check there.
In team finals, he went right out of bounds on that first pass. Handspring double pull, punch tuck Branny. There's the Tuck Thomas. Bar still good. It's required Arabian down the side.
It is one of the 5 element group requirements, a skill that is sideward or half turn into an Arabian type skill. Little perspective on his scores earlier this week. He had a 15.4 in the qualifying round, but as you mentioned, he fell badly in the team final, which cost Japan a great deal. He scored only a 14.575 in the team competition.
Getting ready for his dismount. Round up back handspring 2.5. Seems like an awkward dismount.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to do a back twisting dismount like that. It's tough to land, and when you're tired at the end of the routine, it's pretty easy to sit down, isn't
Very
it?
tough. You can see right here, it looks like he gets a little off. It looks like a little crooked. I think I'd start to the left side of that.
Move that over a little bit. Yang Wei, his score 15.125 for that floor routine we saw earlier. Luis Vargas, Puerto Rico now.
Kaz full.
A lot of American gymnastics fans will, of course, know Luis. Spent a good deal of time living and training in the United States. Competed for Penn State. 15.65.
I know, pretty good vault. Nice distance.
From Greece now, Christos. Help me with that name.
Yeah.
Limpanovnos.
That's a tough one. Nice kip to Maltese. Push to planche. A little short on that Maltese. Nice kip L cross. Pull to Maltese. To a Nakayama.
Christos is 22 years of age from Katarini. Qualified 18th of the 24 into today's all-around final. Placed 17th in the World Championships last year in Australia.
A little shaky in the handstands on this giant work. Setting up for a dismount. Nice layout, pull out.
Scored a 15.125, his second highest individual event score in the qualifying rounds. His highest score was on vault, 15.55.
Right here you can see on his back giants, it's a little shaky. Picks up a little bit of swing.
Basically, you lose about 1/10 of a point for each swing of the rings.
Right here you can see setting up with the giant dislocate. And a pretty good looking layout full out.
Deductions are different under the new code of points. 15.025 for Limpanovnos. One step is 1/10 of a point. A large step is 3/10 of a point. Used to be 2. Hands down, 5/10. Fall down completely, 8/10. There's a whole new set of parameters with which to judge these routines. This has sort of been brewing for several years, the new code of points. You've been watching gymnastics now for the last few days from Denmark. Your perspective on the rules, are they sending gymnastics in the right direction, do you think, Blaine?
You know, so far I didn't think I'd actually like the new scoring system, the open-ended scoring system, but you know, so far it looks okay. I still think that they should keep the 10, just based on the fact that the audience they know what the best score is.
Right.
But for the gymnasts, I don't think it's any different. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the same routines that are done in the previous years. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm on the fence.
You know, I agree with you. The idea that we don't have a 10 anymore, I'm very disappointed that that's gone, because for people who don't watch gymnastics except every few years when it comes to the World Championships or the Olympics, they have a sense of, well, at least I know 10 is perfect, so how close did they get to perfection is their idea. So you know, oh boy, that was a 9-9. You know what that means. It's really difficult to put a perspective on what is a 15.725 now. Really, was that great, or how great was that? It's really difficult to have a relative perspective on what that really means.
I guess you would gauge it as somewhere in the 9s.
We're almost a translation factor throughout. It's like your whole life going up under the Fahrenheit temperature scale and now having to deal with Celsius. It's like, would you remind me what that is again? Is that warm or hot? I'm not really sure. The gymnastics is about the same, ironically. There are some minor technical changes.
Yeah.
But the judging is completely different.
So far, so good on this pommel horse routine.
Doesn't matter what the code of points is. One thing we do see is that gymnasts all find the same skills to fulfill the requirements.
Yeah.
So we're going to notice, regardless of how you make the rules, the routines tend to start to look the same, because all the gymnasts are looking for, let's face it, the easiest way to fulfill the requirements and get a high score.
Absolutely. And you'll see a lot of that on this event right here. A lot of travels, a lot of Fedochenkos, a lot of one pommel work nowadays. The one pommel work wasn't so important in the last quadrennium, but since they changed the rules a little bit, it's back to a lot of bonus for staying on that pommel for a long time and camp out on it.
That combination, as you mentioned in the team competition, the Wu to the Fedorchenko, you're going to see a lot of those because they rack up bonus points. Here is Sasha Artemev from the United States.
Nice Yurchenko double full.
21-year-old, was born in Minsk, Belarus, now lives in Lakewood, Colorado. His father, Vladimir Artemev, his coach.
Go figure. Isn't everybody getting coached by their father?
It's incredible.
Their parents.
A high number of people in this competition who are coached by parents. 2006 U.S. Championships, first in the all-around, 15.75 for really clean execution. Expect clean execution from Sasha Artemov. That is his trademark. So as you notice, the athletes march to their next rotation. There are 6 rotations of all-around competition here. I mentioned Sasha Artemev. His goal is a world or an Olympic medal, and he certainly has all the qualities to become a champion. Perhaps a little raw and lacking a little experience. He's 21, but this U.S. team here, very talented, but a team that perhaps one or two less mistakes would have come out of these World Championships with a much better feeling about themselves. They'll be going back home and regrouping and trying to figure out where to go from here. The next World Championships next year are critical. 2007 in Stuttgart, that will be the final qualifier for the Beijing Olympics.
Well, I remember in 1995, they didn't think we were going to qualify for the Atlanta Olympic Games. And, we actually came in and did very well. We competed early in the morning, kind of just like the U.S. team did here.
Yeah, you know, they have a random draw for when gymnasts compete in the qualifying round. And, you know, it is really tough when you draw that early session. Typically, the judges, being as fair as they can be, they still tend to be a little tight with the scores early, and they tend to loosen up with the scores as the day goes on. And so to draw an early session, and several good teams did. I believe 5 of the top 6 teams in the world drew early sessions. It still is hard.
Yeah. I mean, and once again, that's the advantage of going later in the day.
Especially for a team that might be on the bubble. If you go a little later in the day, you might be looking at a little friendlier judging environment. Let's put it that way.
Plus, it hurts to compete in the morning.
Yeah, your body hurts at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. Head coach Mark Williams of the U.S. program was, in his diary, has been explaining that they've been getting up very early because when you need to be awake and competing in the World Championships at 9 a.m., you're looking at 4 a.m. wake up, 5 a.m. breakfast, you're starting to warm up at 7. It's
I would need to do
rough.
that a month in advance.
That's Dmitry Karbanyenko, formerly of Russia, now competing for France. He immigrated there several years ago, warming up on the vault. The way it works at the all-around competition at the World Championships, all of the gymnasts. Here are the standings, by the way. Let's take a look at that. This is what I mentioned about vaulting being kind of skewed. Claudio Capelli, he might as well take a picture because he will never see his name at the top of the leaderboard ever again at the World Championships. He started on vault, and that, of course, is the reason that the higher scoring event...
Top 3 guys were all on
all
vault.
vaulters. So some of the favorites a little down in the standings, clearly. So all bets are off until everyone is done vault. And then that's really the only time when you're sort of comparing apples to apples, because until then, it's very difficult to get a perspective on where people are ranked relatively. Vaulting is typically as much as a point higher scoring event than every other event in men's gymnastics. Yang Tae-young. Now there's a famous face. Gymnastics fans will remember the story of his battle with Paul Ham at the Olympics. Paul Ham winning the gold medal. Yang Tae-young on a scoring technicality finished with the bronze. Oh!
Kaz 1.5.
You know, it's strange. In the air, it's almost like he gave up. He could have made that.
It looked good.
It did look good.
Good technique, toes pointed and everything. I think he just gets his feet out just a little bit too much in front of him.
Typically, that's a hard vault to land, but that seemed to me a mental error because you don't want to really go for the stick on a vault that twists forward like that. You really want to land forward and perhaps take a step forward, never land backward.
Absolutely.
Because your rear end is behind you and
feet slip out.
There's almost no way you can cover for that. Yang Tae-young, the 26-year-old from Seoul.
We saw that happen to Paul Ham, 2004.
That's what sort of sent that whole scoring controversy into a whole level of drama at the Olympics. Korean men have never won a world all-around medal. Chen Yibing, a clear favorite for a medal today, perhaps even the gold. He will get ready to take to the pommel horse.
And this is not one of his strongest events, but I think the key to horse is just staying on.
Scored a 14.925 in the qualifying round. Did not compete for the Chinese team in the team competition. They're so good and so deep that a guy like this, who could literally be the world all-around champion, didn't even get the call to compete in the top 3 for their team.
They can swing some horse for sure.
They sure can.
Starts off with the woo. Was that 2 woos? I didn't think you were allowed to repeat. Nice Magyar to a Savado. Getting into the resting portion of his routine. Scissor full. to a nice dismount. Pretty good routine. Once again, the key to horse is hang on.
The World Championships last year, he was a finalist on the rings, took 8th place. From Canada, Nathan Gafuik.
Yurchenko 2.5, and it didn't look like he was going to make that one.
Oh, I talk about drilling that into the ground.
Pretty good distance. Looks like he gets his arms a little bit above his head here, twisting. I didn't think he was going to make it, but just pulls it around at the end.
I think he's somewhat surprised. You look at his face. He twisted all the way into the mat.
Came on a little high there, which...
He goes, I'll take it. I'm on my feet.
Canada, very surprising at this World Championships.
Yeah, how great for them. They made the team final, placed 6th.
They did a great job.
Alvarez on parallel bars for the United States.
He doesn't have a very tough routine, but he has a very clean routine. Peach to handstand. It's a nice giant work. Oh, a little bit of a problem on the front toss, swing the hand. Back up rise to handstand. Once again, not a lot of difficulty in this routine. The back toss to a front rise double front.
The U.S. Championships this year, he was 3rd in the all-around. He's 23 years of age, will turn 24 next Tuesday. At a 14.625 on parallel bars in the qualifying round.
You see him setting up for a back toss. Very clean gymnast. You don't see too many dismounts going forwards anymore off of parallel bars, but he did a nice high double front.
Alvarez trained with Sasha Artemev at 5820 Gymnastics in Colorado, where Artemev continues to train before Alvarez moved up to the University of Minnesota to be coached by Mike Burns. Rafael Martinez, we saw him with a solid start on pommel horse in the first rotation.
Nice kipped Maltese.
A little bit high on that L cross.
A little high on the L cross. A little low on that Nakayama as well. Looks like he's just trying to get off of this event.
You're not kidding. A bent arm hollow back press to handstand. You don't see those anymore.
Nice back giant.
2005, he won the European All-Around Championship. 4th in the All-Around at the Worlds last year.
And tucked half in, half out.
Not a great routine for him.
No, a little short on some holds and a little high on the crosses.
His lowest scoring event in the qualifying round, just a 14.65. A very balanced gymnast, but the one event where he is his weakest is the rings. 15.025, so 0.4 of a point better than his qualifying effort. On the vault, 16.15 for Nathan Gafuik. That's a good score.
That's a real good score. That would be like a 9-9 on ball.
Yeah, that's big. That is big. Once again, Tomita waits. He was stuck on the podium before his floor performance. Now has to stand there and stare down the beast. How'd you like that?
There's no way I'd be standing on the mat. It's just... I couldn't even look at that right now. Here we go. He typically is a pretty good pommel horse swinger. Very nice lines. Starts off with nice one pommel sequence. Gets into a little bit of trouble, but hangs on. There's a woo to Fedorchenko. Having a little bit of difficulty. There's a Magyar to a Salvato. Getting ready for his scissor sequence here. His back scissor to scissor full. Nice high extension. Dismounts the stock out. Pirouette.
Scored a 15.375 in the qualifying round, 15.35 in the team final. Typically known for his consistency. That's why it was a shock when he fell off the high bar in the men's team final.
He fought hard here because he should have been off this horse twice. He put his hand, as you can see, the pommels ran wood and metal. He had his hand on the metal on the one pommel sequence, and that's hard to stay on.
Tomita hoping to repeat as a world all-around champion. Japanese men have won 17 all-around medals in World Championship competition, 3 golds only. Kenmotsu, Kazumatsu, and Tomita. From Australia, Joshua Jeffries.
Handspring Rudy.
That's a vault that you used to compete.
Yeah, it's pretty good vault. Yeah.
It is. What's the trick in that? Get the heels up?
Yeah, you got to get the heel drive going. See the floor and wrap.
Jeffries, the 21-year-old, originally out of Brisbane, Australia, now living and training at their national training center in Canberra with Vladimir Vatkin, who formerly coached in Belarus, one of the coaches of Ivan Ivankov. Vatkin moved to Australia to help their program. Dan Potra now from Romania on the rings.
Azarian to L cross. Pull the Maltese. Shoulders a little high on the Maltese. Shoot to invert.
That's high too, isn't it?
A little bit. I might have left that one out. Back approach the Maltese. To a Nakayama.
Romanian men won the bronze medal at the Olympics in Athens in 2004. They only qualified 7th to the team final here. Finished just 4th, just out of the medals.
A little wobbly on the front giant. Nice layout full out to a good stick.
Potra's best event, the still rings, solid landing.
Should be an average score. A little short on some holds.
15.5, 7.5.
Wow, the judges didn't see the same routine I saw.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? A couple of those moves, strength moves, were not in the proper position. Typically, you don't get the value of the move. You have a deduction.
Absolutely. But, again, if you stick, that's the last thing they see.
Saw the score there for Tomita. Good thing he gritted through that pommel horse routine.
That was a tough one for him.
Roman Zozulia off the pommel horse.
Once again, this event, it can either make or break your whole meet. So it gets a little bit off.
Zozulia, the 27-year-old from Zaporozhye, now lives in Kiev.
That's Magyar to Salvato.
He was 10th in the all-around at the Olympics in Athens.
Scissors. Scissor full, setting up for his dismount. Nice flare hop to handstand, pirouette. always hated jumping back up on that horse.
Yeah, that's. You have 30 seconds with which to remount, and boy, a lot of things go through your head in those 30 seconds.
Yeah, they do. You can see his shoulders get too far outside of the pommels. That's why he ended up falling off.
Well, there's Dmitry Karbanyin, formerly of Russia, 33 years old, folks. And he does the handspring double front. Oh!
You can see him didn't get enough block off the horse.
And that never happens. This vault he can do in his sleep.
Yeah. Very good execution. He just didn't block.
Look at that, 15.3 though. Interestingly enough, look at that.
Yeah.
A 15.3 on a missed vault is higher than a hit pommel horse routine. Tomita got a 14.975. That's sort of the relative imbalance.
He didn't hit his routine.
Okay,
he stayed on the horse.
Okay. He wasn't on the ground.
He didn't fall on the ground. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You can fall on vault, and it's really not going to hurt you as bad.
After these World Championships are over, the judges will go back and review the scores. That's one of the complaints about this new scoring system, is that there was really no trial period. They went right into it at major world level right away, the beginning of 2006, without really having a period to adjust. So vaulting, all the vault scores, start values, have been readjusted once already, and there may even need to be further adjustment to make sure that each of the events are essentially equally weighted in the all-around scope.
Yeah, after seeing this competition so far, it looks like they'll go back and reevaluate those vaulting start values. Very good routine.
Deviatowski, 15.375 for Russia. Final performer on the pommel horse in this rotation for Japan will be Takuya Nakase. He's 24 years of age, coached by Yasunori Tachibana. He began gymnastics at the age of 11, which is a little unusual, but not uncommon in Japan, where typically the men get into the sport a little later, and they end up competing longer.
Could you imagine if he started at 3 or 4?
Yeah. Well, it seems like most of the top gymnasts in the world start on average 5, 6, 7 years of age. So it's pretty unusual to see someone at this level who started gymnastics at the age of 11. Nakase qualified into this all-around final in 5th place.
Starting off with a nice Magyar to Savato, to a Wu, to a Fedorchenko. One pommel requirement. Go for his scissor sequence, his scissor full. Little sloppy in the feet, hop handstand, pirouette.
Nakase scored a 14.375 in the qualifying round. Every other event that he performed on was in the 15 points or higher. So the key, as you said, is just to get through pommel horse.
Yeah, if you are not typically a good pommel horse swinger, as long as you get through it and stay on, and you could be in the running. Right here, you get a nice view of nice Fedorchenko. And there's not a whole lot of places to put your hands on that pommel horse.
It's known as the beast to most gymnasts. It's technically one of the most difficult events in men's gymnastics. Luis Vargas on one of his best events, the parallel bars.
There's a nice peach full to a peach half. Giant to another lock-on peach. To a moi. Very nice to pelt. Stutz to handstand. So far, so good. Setting up for his dismount. Very good routine. A little short on the landing. Nice peach half right here. Parallel bars looking more like high bar every day.
Many of the most difficult rated skills are these underbar swinging elements, so it really has that big swinging feel, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A lot of grip strength involved in parallel bars.
Vargas was 15th in the all-around at the 2004 Olympics. 15.225 his score. Now, parallel bars. Alexander or Sasha Artemev chalking up, getting ready for his parallel bar routine. Typically a very strong event for him.
Yeah, he swings parallel bars very well. And I always hated, you get the bars all set, and then you have to waiting for that concoction to dry. When it gets too dry, you're over there checking the bars once again.
Yeah, everybody has their own special amount of moisture they want on the bars, so you get the right grip, especially with those underbar swinging elements and giants. Artemev had a 14.975, improvised a little his routine in the qualifying rounds, was not his best effort. Expect a higher score here today from him.
Front upright straddle cut the handstand.
His coach is his father, Vladimir, who pulled out the springboard there for him after he mounted.
Nice heel to handstand.
Wow.
Nice peach. Although he's moving around a lot on the bars. Giant Diam 1 1/4. Very nice. To a giant Diamidov. To a nice high giant.
This
to a giant
is beautiful.
Very good.
Good stuff.
Got such pretty lines. That's the handstand. Very nice routine.
Great job for American Sasha Artemev. Boy, you talk about form and execution and technique.
Very clean. He's setting up for his dismount. A little hop at the end.
Born in Belarus, moved to the United States, became a citizen in 2002, and now the top gymnast in the United States, Alexander or Sasha Artemev. As the athletes march to their next rotation, this is on tape, on the rings, Seladiu from Romania in rotation 2.
A little short on that Kip Maltese. To Nazarian. Pull Maltese. Little Archie in some of the Maltese skills.
For these guys, this is a long week of competition. They had qualifying round, and team final, and now all-around final. Do you feel yourself wearing down as the week goes on? Are those strength moves harder to do?
Yeah, they can be. It depends. If your team has a better team competition, you tend to roll it over into the other competitions as well. But as I remember, 95, 97, we never had days in between. It was you did team prelims, team finals, then all-around finals. You know, 3 days of straight competition. So I believe these guys have days in between now.
15.4 the score for Salario on the rings. So that completes rotation number 2 here at the 2006 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships from Aarhus, Denmark. While the athletes warm up for rotation 3, we'll look back at a couple of highlights. This is the Greek gymnast Christos.
This costs 4.5. Actually, it costs 4, sorry.
We saw Limpanovnos in the rings. Pretty standard vault these days. It's 15.625. It's a solid score. Nothing spectacular. Here are the standings. American Sasha Artemev, Luis Vargas, Dmitry Savitsky, Joshua Jeffries. Those are your top 4. Artemev off to a great start. Started on a high-scoring event vault, did well, and then followed up with an extremely strong parallel bar routine. So nice to see an American atop the standings. The other American in the competition today, Alvarez, tied with the world all-around champion Hiroyuki Tomita. All of these numbers important in a sense, but all of them relatively hard to put perspective on until they've all been devolved.
Yeah.
That is the real...
Well, you can look for Tomita right now to move up between rings and vault for sure. He's very strong on rings, solid.
Kind of funny among the gymnasts because you can be standing on the sidelines talking about, hey, my guy's in first place. And you go, has he vaulted yet? Has he been to horse?
Yep.
Because that changes everything.
Looks like I better go back home, get a better ball.
You mentioned the other day you considering coming back and making a shot for the U.S. team again. You have to modify your gymnastics a lot from what you did up through the Olympics in 2004 to be competitive nowadays?
No, not really. Actually, the event I find the easiest is pommel horse, which is strange. No, only have to learn a few chosen skills, and that's about it.
We could be in for a treat here. Chen Yibing.
He's super strong on this.
Super strong. Gold medal on the rings this year in the 2006 Shanghai Cup. Last year's World Championships, he was a finalist, took 8th place. But scored 16.525 in the qualifying round.
Skip Maltese. Push the invert. Pike Yamawaki to a back upright straight body planche.
Look at his toe point.
It's amazing.
It's like the end of a pencil. It's so sharp.
And he is so strong. The positions are so crisp. And he holds everything. Nice cesarean.
That's what's pretty overwhelming when you see the Chinese athletes come to a major competition. Typically the team is a mix of some veterans and some new faces to break into the lineup.
Setting up for his dismount. Nice high layout, full out. Almost flared it out too much there. Look at these positions. You're looking to be level with the rings on the Maltese skills and level with the floor.
We saw Martinez on the horse and rings. Huh. That was unusual.
Soup 4.5.
I expected a harder vault there, didn't you?
I did too. Looks like you might have an ankle problem. As you can see, he lands outside of the yellow lines, which is a deduction. It's like the landing strip.
Scored a 15.35 in the qualifying round. Placed 5th in the all-around at the Olympics. Of course, his entire effort was unnoticed because the whole world was trying to figure out the Paul Ham Yang Tae-Jung scenario. So few people even realized that other Korean gymnast named Kim Da-young actually took the silver medal.
Yeah.
But that case with Paul Ham and Yang Tae-Jung was finally resolved a few months later at the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Switzerland. You'd like that sports results are decided on the floor, not in some court in Switzerland somewhere. So hopefully with the new code of points, there will be less of a chance for that type of controversy. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that remains to be seen.
One of the failings of the judging system was there was really no formal, organized process for filing a protest. And so there is now a procedure. That was one of the issues that had everybody scratching their heads in Greece. Well, what is the procedure? Well, you got to just ask the judge before the next guy goes. Well, where is that in the book? And it really was never written down anywhere. What is the protest procedure, or inquiry procedure, I should say?
Oh, I assumed that it was before you started your next event. Is the way I saw it.
Every country had their own sort of interpretation as to what they thought the rule was, because it was not clear in the international code of points.
Well, once again, the fact is if, as I said before, if that was a U.S. coach and the start value did not come up the way they thought it was, they would have been right over the judge, right at the table. So, and I'm not sure what the Korean coach did.
Well, that's part of the situation.
I was sitting in the stands watching, so I don't know.
Look at that, 16-5, another high score for Chen Yibing. So, solid floor. He got through pommel horse, and now the Chinese gymnasts are going into the events where they shine. Rings, vault, P-bars, and high bar. Well, there's really almost nowhere they don't shine.
Well, high bar is questionable.
Okay, high bar. Excuse me about that. You're right about that.
They don't let go of the bar enough.
They don't take any unnecessary risks, that's for sure.
Yang Wei, nice Kip Maltese. Push to invert. Back up, rise to invert. Back up, rise to Maltese. Push to planche. Back up, rise, straight body planche. A little bit of swing in the rings. Gonna get a little deduction for that. So far, so good. Front giant. A little check on that handstand. Setting up for his dismount. Laid out double-double.
That's nice. It's so hard to do at the end. Have you done a layout double-double at the end?
Not at the end of a routine. I've done them, but not at the end of the routines.
16.45 for Yang Wei, who, for those of you who follow their personal stories, he happens to be engaged to Yang Yun. You might remember her. She was the double bronze medalist at the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney. Tomita now on the rings. This is the first time he hasn't had to wait on the podium for a score to be calculated. We'll see how he does here.
That's good on one of his best events. So
both times in qualifying and team final scored 15.975.
Nice Kip Maltese. Push to planche. Do a Nazarian. Across. Hold a Maltese. To a Nakayama. Shows off every position. Dislocate, shoot the handstand. Nice pike Yamawaki. Nice double pike, half out. I thought he might have stuck that dismount, but a little bit too much juice at the end. Look at those positions, though.
Talk about the score system. The A jury calculates the difficulty value. In the previous competitions, Tomita had a 6.5 difficulty value. That was added to his execution score to come up with his final score. Yang Wei, by the way, on rings had a 7.1 difficulty value. So a 6/10 higher A panel score based on the difficulty of that routine.
It's a nice vault. Nice handspring double front.
Diviatowski.
Finishes at vault height. Very nice vault.
Russians very happy with their silver medal finish here after a disappointing Olympics in Athens. The leader in the all-around after 2 rotations, American Alexander Artemev, now on to the high bar. Great opportunity for the Americans here. Oh!
I've been there.
Oh!
I've been there.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Sasha Artemev.
Just a little early on that Jaeger. Gonna get up and finish the rest of his routine.
Oh. 2 falls. Now this unfortunately is what we saw from the American men in the qualifying round. A lack of experience, perhaps the pressure of this moment loading up on Artemev. A very talented team, but lacking experience, and perhaps it's showing here.
Yeah, this is a tough one to watch. You know, especially knowing that I feel for him. I've been in this situation before. So now you just gotta finish up and you know, try and keep it as clean as possible. And once again, he's got to do a release.
Oh. Oh! 3 falls.
Right now you can see that he's not sure what to do. And it's hard to be in this position.
He's talking to his father, Vladimir, giving him some instructions where to pick up his routine. After each fall, you get 30 seconds with which to remount. But this is devastating for young Sasha Artemev, the reigning American all-around champion. Such a fine, talented gymnast. But boy, the wheels have come off here on the high bar.
This dismount. It's unfortunate to see.
This is a sort of vision of what happened in 2001 in Ghent in Belgium. The Americans had a chance to win all-around medals, even gold perhaps, and Sean Townsend fell from the high bar, and Paul Ham, next to go, fell as well. So the all-around title went to Ivan Ivankov from Belarus. What's the mindset when you miss once? How do you recover? And
it's very, you know, as you can see, you know, he does. It's almost like a deer in headlights. You don't know what to do. You know, you just have to. You have to cut your losses and try and finish your routine as clean as you possibly can without coming off the bar again.
Now, we've seen in the team competition and in the all-around competition, you can have one mistake, but you can't have a disaster if you hope to win a medal. So the smart gymnasts here are, you know, there's that balance. Do you play it safe? You can't play it safe because you can't get a good score anymore.
No.
A safe routine. But that wasn't a case of him not having the ability. He is certainly a brilliantly talented kid. That was perhaps more inexperience and a mental lapse, because there's no question the quality of his gymnastics is wonderful.
Well, you know, I remember starting in almost the same position in Switzerland. I went rings, vault, parallel bars, and heading into high bar, and missed that release. I walked over the chalk tray, and Peter Corman, my coach at the time, "You're going to have to do that release again." I was like, "What? Can't I just finish?" I don't want to do it again. I just missed it.
But you got to fulfill the requirement.
Yeah, I had to get back up and do it.
Blaine, I was there, my friend, and I have to admit, we looked up at that leaderboard and said, "Wow, Blaine's in first place." Did you think the same thing? Guess what? I'm in first place.
I did, and that's when I stood on the podium for a while, and I should have walked down.
Nakase from Japan now in the rings.
Tip to Maltese. Little clinch. So far, so good. Back rise to handstand. Nice Gizogi work. You don't see too many of those anymore. Did lay out Gizogi, tuck Gizogi, shoot the handstand. Nice layout, full out to a stick. Should score very well. Right here, see him spot the floor. Boom. Good stick.
2006 Cottbus Cup. He was 8th place on the rings. Nakase scored a 15.7 in the qualifying rounds. We saw Diviatovsky's vault 16.225. .15 for young Sasha Artemev from the United States. Leader in the all-around coming into this third rotation. Perhaps an important learning moment for this talented young gymnast.
You absolutely just need to let go of that routine and just finish your last 3 events as strong as you possibly can.
We wish him well with the rest of the competition. Jeffries now from Australia, parallel bars.
Each the handstand, giant double pike. Bent knees a little bit in the double pike to a giant double back. Nice giant to a pelt. Healy. Healy to upper arm, back upright straddle cut. So far, so good. And look for his dismount. He'll lean back there a little bit on the double pike. Pretty good routine. See his shoulders get back behind his hands a little bit. Causes low landing.
Dmitry Karbanyenko prepping the parallel bars. Very unfortunate start for the 33-year-old from France. Originally from Kaliningrad, Russia. Member of the Russian team at the 94 and 95 World Championships. After being left off the Olympic team in 1996 for Russia, he was distraught, so he moved to France, the south of France, on the beach. Can't blame him.
No.
Married a French woman.
Yeah.
And they had a baby girl in 2000, but in a tragic personal side, she died giving birth to their daughter. And so he has a little girl now who is 6 years old. But his wife passed away during the birth process. Karbanyenko now in the parallel bars, one of the oldest competitors in this competition. Strong member of the Russian team, and now, hard to believe, a strong contributor for so many years to the French team as well.
Starts a nice peach to handstand. Peach half to a giant double back. To a Healy. To a double front. Don't see too many double fronts on parallel bars anymore. A Stutz. Good looking back toss. A nice double pike. Good stick. Good routine.
Now you wonder why some of these guys are competing so long. I mean, he competes for a French club. He does exhibitions, makes prize money at World Cup events. So for many of these guys, even in their 30s, this is essentially the way they make their living and provide for their families. So I have to admit, a lot of these gymnasts are saying, well, I'm just going to go until my body breaks down, and then I'll have to figure out something else to do.
Yeah.
Many years ago, most gymnasts, because you couldn't make money and be eligible for the Olympics, they quit gymnastics maybe 23, 24 years old max. Now gymnasts are competing well into their 30s as long as they have all of their limbs are still attached.
Yeah, that's about the way we looked at it.
Gymnastics, very hard. Elite world-class gymnastics, very hard on the body, that's for sure. Solariu now from Romania.
Nice vault.
Boy, they are good here.
Very good. Kaz 4.5.
One of his best events, the other is floor.
Great execution here. Great score.
Yeah, 16.175. He scored a 15.275 in the qualifying round, so 0.9 of a point higher in today's all-around competition for Solariu. Yang Tae-young prepping the parallel bars. This, as we talked earlier about the Olympics in 2004, this was the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Parallel bars start value.
Yeah.
Yang Tae-young had been given a certain start value in two previous competitions, the qualifying and team competition, but by the all-around competition in Athens, somehow his start value was calculated differently. It was only a 9.9 as opposed to 10 as it was in the earlier competitions, and that led to the ensuing controversy with Paul Hamm and the protests, and boy, I don't know if we've ever quite recovered from that.
No, still gets talked about quite a bit. This peach half to handstand. Nice lock arm peach. Giant double pike.
It was that incident that largely forced the International Gymnastics Federation to rewrite the rules. That and the high bar routine from Alexei Nemov that caused the crowd to protest for 10 minutes straight as to why he didn't get a higher score and get a medal.
I've never seen a crowd actually take over a meet like that.
First time in my life, the crowd actually forced the judges to change the score.
Never seen it. Ever.
That was an embarrassing moment for gymnastics because the judges should be confident that they calculated the correct score. And instead, after 10 minutes of protesting, they went, okay, well, yeah, it's probably a little higher. But it still wasn't enough to get a medal, was it?
Yeah, no, not by any means. Right here, you see him doing giant double back at the end of the routine. Normally, you don't see that. It's
right.
Very difficult.
Hambüchen on the rings for Germany.
And when you're a little bit younger, rings is one of the hardest events to do. You're not as strong as you typically would be if you were a little older. As you can see, his Maltese a little high, position's a little high.
He's just 19 years of age, Hambüchen.
Whip it to cross. Pretty good routine for him so far.
Talk about his age. He's also listed here in these stats given out by the International Gymnastics Federation. There's only 45 kilograms, which is 99 pounds. He's more than 99 pounds.
He's got to be more than 99 pounds.
He is a very strong young guy. There's no question about it. And a pretty balanced all-around gymnast.
He's pretty good on all of the events.
15.25. So Hambüchen having a very consistent meet to this point so far. Currently 9th in the all-around.
You can see the athletes are getting ready for their 4th event. In this 4th rotation, we will have a group on floor exercise, one on vaulting, one on parallel bars, and one on high bar. Recap a couple of the scores from the last rotation. Tomita had a 15.9 on ring. Hambüchen had a 15.25. And here's the all-around standings after the 3rd event. Yang Wei is in 1st. Yibing is in 2nd. Chen Yibing moving into 3rd. Big jump for him. And Tomita moves up into 4th place. Big move for Tomita. Rounding out the middle of the all-arounder. Dmitry Karpenyenko is 15th. Hambüchen is 10th. And there you see Sasha Artemov after that devastating high bar routine. In last place. We're now getting ready to start the 4th rotation here.
First
Here you see Yang Wei getting ready for his vault.
Chinese gymnasts favored to win medals here. Yang Wei has been a silver medalist twice at the Olympics, 2004 and the 2003 World Championships. Would love nothing better than to walk away with the gold medal today. Oh, that's hard. I'm sorry.
Triple twist. It is hard.
And he made it easily.
Yeah. In team finals, it was a little bit lower than that. He looked like he got a better block. It's high extension, and then he twists so fast. Good landing. You can see he almost cheats that vault a little bit, starting it almost like a handspring.
Right. Set the twist up. I remember going to China years ago and watching them vault with lead vests on into the pit. Put about 10 pounds of lead on and then go down and try that vault. That's the type of conditioning they were doing. Should be a great score for Yang Wei on the vault. Put a little added pressure on the reigning world all-around champion, Tomita.
Getting ready for his vault. Nice Kaz full. Very good landing.
Tomita currently in third place in the all-around. Just about 0.8 of a point behind Yang Wei. Now here's where the difficulty factor really matters, because Yang Wei did a much more difficult vault. And that should show up in the score. We'll see. That was the whole purpose of the new code of points. 16.625 for Yang Wei. The whole code of points was designed to separate good gymnastics from great gymnastics by rewarding a gymnast who goes for something extremely difficult. We'll see if the rules play out as they should on the vault.
So far, so good on this parallel bar routine. Setting up for the giant double. To pelt. Very clean routine so far. Takes a couple steps at the end on the dismount. A lot of underbar work on parallel bars nowadays.
Hi, Mom. I'm at the World Championships. The score for Tomita on vault, 15.85. So, well, it worked out pretty well, actually. Yang Wei, with a much harder vault, scored 16.625. About 0.8 of a point. Tomita behind him based on the relative lack of difficulty. So, in that case, the vaulting rules are standing up. The new test at these World Championships with a complete new scoring system.
I think it's going to be very hard for Tomita to catch Yang Wei. He's pretty consistent on the last two events.
Good point. In the all-around, Sasha Artemev from the United States was first after 2 rotations. After that unfortunate collapse on the high bar, dropped all the way to 23rd place in the all-around with a 43.425. Disappointment for the Americans there. No medals likely today, so they will have to regroup. He has one more chance to win a medal at these World Championships. He's in the pommel horse final, which will take place tomorrow here live on WCSN. You'll have a chance to see it. Nakase now from Japan. Oh!
Yurchenko 2.5, and he actually hangs on.
Barely.
I don't know if that would have been worse than sitting down. Took a couple of steps and does go outside of the yellow.
If he goes all the way down, it's an 0.8 of a point deduction. He managed to not give that up, but the rest of it was pretty sloppy there. Wow. Hats off to him for fighting.
Yeah, it looked good on and off the horse. He just
good.
didn't get his feet around and down.
Nakase had a 15.025. The Japanese were sloppy in their vault landings in the qualifying round as well. So, you know, a lot of times gymnasts vault into the pit, the foam pit, all year long, and try to save those landings on hard surfaces for when it counts. And sometimes that shows in the competition.
I did it.
Dan Potra from Romania now.
Oop, little trouble on that peach half. As well on the peach. Sticks to one. Sidebar glide, strata up.
The halfway point in this meet, Potra, 7th in the all-around with a 45.625. Oh!
Front 1.25 had a couple of problems.
Boy, that's the kind of skill where you break a finger, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like he might be a little bit hurt here. Let's see right here. Misses a hand.
Ooh.
And boy, those bars hurt when you hit them.
A lot of gymnasts wear neoprene sleeves over their biceps to protect their arms on those landings. Not for Potra, but that's not what he was hoping for on the parallel bars. My name is Bart Connor, and I'm proud to be working along with Olympic medalist Blaine Wilson. We are at the 2006 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships live, folks, from Aarhus, Denmark. Only on WCSN do you see live exclusive coverage. Home of the world champions, WCSN. It's the all-around final. We will be followed up a little later today with the women's all-around final. And then 2 more days of coverage here on WCSN of the individual event finals tomorrow and Saturday. Groundbreaking 18 hours of live gymnastics from these World Championships. Nakase on the vault, 15.35. So even with a sloppy landing, luckily he didn't give a major deduction and ended up with a respectable score. Deviatovsky, second in the all-around at the halfway point in this competition. I mentioned sort of a re-emergence of the Russian program after a disastrous Olympics in Athens. Andrei Rodionenko, the former great coach from the former Soviet Union who moved to Australia and then to Canada, recently moved back 2005 to Russia to help rejuvenate their program, and the leader of the Russian system, Leonid Arkayev, was essentially ousted. And they had enough of his.
I wondered how long that would take.
And so he has moved on to Korea, and he's helping the Koreans prepare for the next Olympics. But this is exciting to see the Russians back as contenders. And there was a big drain of coaches for many years after the opening up of the Soviet Union, and many coaches sought work in other countries. And so I have to admit, many countries around the world have benefited from the coaching knowledge of the Russians, Belarusians, Bulgarians, Romanians who left their home countries and sought higher paying work in the West.
So far, so good. Giant double back.
He's clean. I like his technique.
He is very clean. Healy hop pirouette. Studs. So studs to one bar and a sidebar glide. Should be setting up for his dismount. Very good routine. He's having a great day so far.
He sure is. Currently second place in the all-around. The 22-year-old from Lenitsk, Kuznetsky, now lives in Moscow. This is his third World Championships. He qualified into this all-around final in 12th place. The last Russian to win a world all-around medal was Nikolai Kryukov. He won the gold in '99 in Tianjin, China. Quick note about Divyatowski. His father is a gymnastics coach. Boy, that seems to be the running theme here. Everybody, it's a family affair. Oh!
That's going to score huge.
Hambüchen drills a 2.5 twister.
He gets good amplitude off this horse.
Wow.
And then just bones the landing.
Look at that smile. Harry Potter comes through. The 19-year-old with a 16.4 on vault, Hambüchen. European Championships this year, he was 5th place on the vault, 7th on the parallel bars, 23rd in the all-around at the Olympics. Chen Yibing.
Great vault. Cos 4.5.
Well, what a difference when you stick one and when you don't stick one in terms of the impression it leaves on the judges and the audience, for that matter.
Absolutely. 16.2. Very good score.
Yeah, very good score considering he didn't quite show the landing that Hambüchen did. 16.2 for Chen Yibing. Chinese man already with a gold medal in the team competition here. Their 7th team gold medal in World Championship competition. They are poised to win more medals in today's all-around competition, and even more perhaps in the individual event finals coming up the next 2 days here from Denmark. Yang Tae-Jung now to the high bar.
Starts with the same mount that Sasha Artemov started with. Setting up for his release. Tuck Kovacs. To a Rabako to Eagle. Stalter full. To a Stalter Rabako to mix. Swings very quick. Should be setting up for his dismount here.
It's a long routine.
Yes, it is. I'm tired just watching it. Pretty good routine.
Yang Tae-young scored a 14.525, not his best effort in the qualifying round. I mentioned the routine is long. That's another sort of permutation from this new code of points, is that the gymnasts are scored based on their 9 highest valued skills, no more than 4 from any one element group, plus the dismount. So you stay up there as long as you can till you run out of gas trying to rack up value points for these skills.
Absolutely.
Seems to me a new element to men's gymnastics is just endurance. In order to be able to rack up a good score, you have to have the physical endurance to stay up there maybe 30% longer than you did last year.
Absolutely, and it's tougher. I mean, you can go one of 2 routes. You can try and do as much difficulty as you possibly can at the beginning, and then do a couple of easy skills at the end. Or you could just sit there and rack up as many, consistent, easy things that you could possibly do on that event. Easy skills. So
every gymnast kind of has to figure out what works best for their skill and talent level. But there's no question that routines are a little bit longer now, and endurance is a factor. Adam Wong from Canada.
With a pretty good parallel bar routine. Hop on the dismount.
Began gymnastics at the age of 3. He is the reigning Canadian national champion. Lives and trains in Calgary. Also the Canadian national champion on the parallel bars. For Romania now, Silariu.
Peach, a little bit of bent arms there to a tuck marsui. Healy, front 1.25. A little heavy on the landing there.
Silariu scored a 14.925 in the qualifying round.
Stutz to 1 rail. Which is actually called a heaters.
Canadian gymnast. All right. Well, we get tired of talking about the code of points, and I imagine some of our listeners get tired of hearing about it, but one additional element on 2 events, parallel bars and pommel horse, there is no connection bonus. So you can only get scores based on individual skills. So that's another reason why the routines are a little bit longer. Other events, you have the ability to get connection bonus points for connecting difficult skills, but not on the pommel horse and the parallel bars. Have we said enough about the rules?
I don't know. There's still some rules we probably haven't covered either.
Well, it may get annoying at some point, but it is the topic of discussion for every gymnast and every coach in the building is how are you designing your routine to accommodate the new rules?
Once again, there is several ways to do it, but you got to be smart about it.
Martinez on the parallel bars. Great start.
So far, so good. Yeah, I'm 1.25. To a nice sidebar, in-bar. Press the handstand. Lean back a little bit on the double pike. Result is a low landing. Other than that, very good routine.
The 22-year-old from Madrid. Pretty solid. Not spectacular any particular place today, but consistent. Guillermo Alvarez on floor. One of his best events. He's great here. Alvarez at the halfway point in the meet was in 19th in the all-around with a 44.475.
Handspring layout, double full, punch Branny. So a nice layout, full out. Four and a half, tuck, punch full, front full. You can see the flare sequence again.
Alvarez and Artemov, the two U.S. competitors today, very sort of indicative of what's happening in the U.S. program right now. These are technically very clean gymnasts, good style, some originality, some really good-looking gymnastics. Just probably about a year or so away from putting it all together in terms of maturity, don't you think, Blaine?
Absolutely, and I think this is a good point for them right now to be in. Very good routine.
It's great to see a double layout at the end. We're seeing a lot of 2.5 twisters at the end. And nice to see a very difficult tumbling move to finish that routine.
It's a good score.
15.375. Here are the standings. Yang Wei, our leader, by 0.7 of a point over Chen Yibing. Could we be looking at another sweep from China? Diviatovsky from Russia is third. The reigning world champion Tomita at 62 points even is in fourth.
Wow, look at Hambüchen moves up 5 spots from the last rotation.
That's what when you're on vault and you stick it, boy, you can really look pretty good. Guillermo Alvarez in 14th place, moved up 5 spots as well after that strong performance on the floor. So those are the standings after 4 of 6 rotations here at the 2006 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships all-around competition for men. An exciting day of gymnastics here on WCSN. We will follow this competition throughout the awards ceremony. We will take a 1-hour break and go watch some World Championship swimming from Shanghai for an hour. And then we will rejoin gymnastics in Aarhus with the sure-to-be thrilling women's all-around final today live on WCSN. The gymnasts are warming up for the 5th of 6 rotations here in the men's all-around final. The stars, the leaders of the competition, are headed towards the parallel bars. And they will finish on the 6th rotation on the always exciting high bar. There is Tomita. Seems pretty calm.
He's always calm. His demeanor's just kind of, hey.
He has his hands full today if he hopes to repeat as world champion, because the Chinese gymnasts are going into an event where they basically own the parallel bars.
They excel at this event.
And
although
it will all come down to high
the
bar.
Japanese are no slouch on this event either.
Set the bars now for Tomita, who will be the first of the 6 athletes in the parallel bar rotation here in the all-around finals. You notice he uses a wet sponge to put a little moisture on the bars.
I always loved competing internationally because these guys put so much stuff on the bars. They never really had to do anything to them. I could just jump up and go.
Every gymnast has their own little blend of how they like the bars to be so they get just the right grip. Some use honey, some use sugar water, combination of water and chalk as you're seeing him doctor the bars there. How did you do it?
I used honey, but
honey?
You know, some of these guys use salt water, which didn't make any sense to me. Salt water. But yeah, but I didn't have to use a whole lot of junk on the bars when I was in these international competitions because they have so much goop on them when you're up there. If you put too much on there, you're gonna slip right off.
And the worst thing in the world is when you get the bars just right and they start to dry out and then the judges go into a conference.
Exactly.
And you're sitting there, you don't care about the judges' conference. You're worried about those bars drying out, aren't you?
I'd rather be in Tomita's place where I'm first up and I don't have to worry about anybody else.
Nobody holding you back. Okay, Tomita on the parallel bars now for Japan.
Starts with a nice peach half to handstand.
Nice
Lock arm
technique.
Peach. Nice flight. To front uprise double back. So clean. Giant double back.
What form in those double back positions? Knees together, toes pointed.
He's solid on this event. Nice stutz. To a Diamo on the quarter. Nice in bar. Press the handstand. So far, so good.
Wow.
Oh! Almost sticks the dismount. Very good routine.
Awesome effort for Tomita.
Well, he knows that he's going to have to do these last 2 events almost to perfection. Trying to fight for every 10th there.
He was second on the parallel bars at the Olympics in 2004, earned the silver medal, 6th in the all-around there. And, of course, the heart and soul of that gold medal team effort, the Olympics. On the high bar for Russia, Deviatovsky. He's having a terrific day. The more well-known Russian in this contest we have not yet seen on this coverage, Sergei Horohordin. He's also in this rotation with Deviatovsky, but...
Nice layout to Tkachev. To a straddle to Tkachev. In bar to a Higgins. Endo and ego grip. So far, a very nice routine. Endo will spin the eagles.
Scored a 15.05 in the qualifying round. Did not compete on the high bar in the team final for Russia. Oh!
Just bones the dismount. He's having himself a great day here.
Remember that name, Maxim Deviatovsky. He will finish near the top of the leaderboard here after the 5th of 6 rotations with that effort.
Love these angles. It actually shows what the gymnasts are looking at.
Next on floor from France,
Zozulia, Ukraine.
This is one of his best events. Nice tuck Marsui to a Healy. Front of prize. Hop 1/4. A nice tip out. Finishes with a great double pike. Good routine.
Ukraine finished a disappointing 12th in the team competition here in Aarhus. But Zozulia, the two-time Olympian, was a silver medalist at the Olympics in Sydney, Australia with their team. And for those of you who follow their personal stories, he happens to be married to Olga Teslenka, two-time Olympian from Ukraine. Tomita score 15-7-2-5. He will load up the pressure on his Chinese competitors, Chen, Yibing, and Yang Wei.
You can see them taking their time with Deviatovsky's score on high bar.
Silariu, coached by Marian Golachel. He's originally from Rešica, which is where the national team trained. Out in the country, away from Bucharest, and now the national men's squad works out in Bucharest. They're much happier to be in the major city in Romania instead of out in some remote village where they were too isolated from the real world.
Wow. Deviatovsky looks like he got a 14.9. I missed something there.
Yeah. Judges still trying to add that one up. Silariu in 8th place in the all-around after 4 rotations here. Oh, that's nice.
Always love the death. Romanians are notorious for that skill. So far, so good. Took out the coach there.
He's my friend, Relu. Look out, buddy.
Pretty good routine.
Not bad for Silariu. That move is called a def, that 1.5 twister invented by Jacques Def, a French gymnast, but they should call it def because, man, that's hard to make that in combination.
It's hard to see the bar. It comes at you on the regular Ginger, the one with just a half a twist. It's easier to see the bar.
Right.
The other one comes at you so fast.
Nakase currently in 6th place in the all-around. 61.05. Basically about 2.5 points behind first place, who was Yang Wei.
So far, so good on this routine. Pike Marsui. To Peters. Nice in-bar press to handstand. Another tuck Marsui. Pretty good routine.
I haven't seen a lot of stuck landings today. Just a few.
Yeah, just a couple. And I think it comes down to stamina, especially because these routines, they're a lot longer.
Good point.
Well, now that's an awkward place to grab for a front of double back. He actually he pushes his calves, it looks like. Whatever keeps you in the smallest ball you could possibly be in on that skill.
Smaller you are, the quicker you rotate, and that's the key when you're so low to the bars. Yang Tae-young on the floor.
Starts with a nice tuck double-double. So nice laid out Thomas.
That was good looking.
Very nice. 4.5 full. Punch front 1 and 3.
Oh, and that's out of
Rolls
bounds.
out of bounds.
You go out of bounds with both feet, it's a 3/10 point deduction. If you land out of bounds from an airborne situation, it's a 1/2 point deduction.
Which we have seen a couple times.
We sure have. This Gymnova equipment from France is very springy. It's very popular with the gymnasts. They like it a lot. But sometimes when you're in competition up on a raised podium, you're a little overjuiced, and it's hard sometimes to keep in that 40-foot by 40-foot area.
Pretty good routine. I think going out of bounds on his third pass.
Tae-young, 7th place in the all-around, coming into that performance, and a 14-7 for Salario high bar. '19-year-old Fabian Hambüchen having a great competition. All the way up to 5th place in the all-around after sticking that vault. He has a 61.95 going. Got 2 good events coming up, P-bars and high bar.
For him, they're very good events. Giant double back. Get the helmet off. Good looking to belt. Right into a Healy. The Healy upper arm. It's back upright. Straddle cut to L. Setting up for his dismount. Nice stuck double pike. He stuck a couple of landings.
He's had
today.
a couple of good landings. What a meet for this guy. Hey, guess what? He's coached by his father. Is that becoming redundant?
That's the key. I got to get my dad to coach me.
Scored a 15.35 in the team competition yesterday, just a 15.125 in the qualifying round. Score on the floor, 15.3 for Yang Tae-young. For Spain now, Rafael Martinez, currently 9th in the all-around, has a 60.4 all-around score to this point. Just about 3 points behind the leader, Yang Wei.
So far, so good. Full spins to eagle there. Jam the handstand to an invert. Straddle endo, full spin to mix. Starter hop full with Thomas. To a nice layout pull out. Here on the dismount. These guys travel a long way on dismounts.
What do you think about that technique? Doesn't quite turn over enough, does he?
No. That's why he stays a little bit piked. See him launch it out away from the bar. Normally you want your toes down past the bar.
Hey, you came way too close to the bar as far as I'm concerned in your career. I saw you way too close to the bar too many times, my friend.
You're suiting up for that dismount. It doesn't matter. You're just going to get it around the stick.
15.35, so Hambüchen, he's having a great day.
heading into one of his better events, being the high bar.
Chen Yibing now. Tomita sort of set the table here. 15.725 with his great start on the parallel bars. He is about 1.5 points behind the leader, Yang Wei. And Chen Yibing is about a point behind Chen Yibing, who is hitting this routine.
So far, so good. Crooked on that Healy.
Look at the form, though.
Execution is great. Good step on the landing. Good routine. Not going to hurt him. Just a little off on that Healy. Almost cost him.
Dmitry Savitsky from Belarus. On the pommel horse, we've been focusing primarily on the group that's on parallel bars now because they are the leaders in the all-around.
Good extension. Good swing. Nice. Into Magyar. Back into a Savada. So far, so good with this routine. Very nice. That's going to score very well.
Not bad for the 22-year-old from Minsk. Qualified to the all-around finals in the 21st position. Has been somewhat inconsistent in international competition, according to his coach, Victor Doilidov. You see his scores there. He was 8th in the all-around at the World Championships last year in Australia. Well, Yang Wei is certainly in the driver's seat today. Consistent. He has been a silver medalist before at major world competition. Both times to American Paul Ham. I'll never forget that moment, his final performance in the 2003 World Championships in Anaheim. He landed his last tumbling pass. He stayed in his landing position about 2 seconds, raised his fist up in the air as if I won it. And he was convinced that was his gold medal.
Yep.
And hello, wait a minute, Paul Ham's got to go. Look out.
He was. We were all sitting up in the box. And I was laughing. I said, oh, Paul, please hit this routine. Please hit it.
Paul Ham had delivered a couple of amazing performances in his career. That one on the high bar in 2003, and of course the memorable high bar performance at the Olympics in 2004. Many gymnastics fans in the United States anxious to hear whether Paul and Morgan Ham and Blaine Wilson will be factors for the U.S. again someday. 15.05 for Chen Yibing. Interestingly enough, that's about 0.7 of a point behind Tomita, who is outstanding as the first performer. Going to get close going into the last event.
He tapped the handstand. Giant double pike. Towards Pell. Nice looking Healy. Giant double back. So far, so good.
So smooth. Oh.
Nice Peters. A lot of flight on that skill. I don't know if I want a lot of flight on that skill.
This is spectacular. Yang Wei
Little step on the dismount.
Great looking set for the leader in the all-around.
I think Tomita might pick up a couple of tenths on him, though. Tomita was just a little bit cleaner than he was.
Tomita was 1 point, basically a little over a point and a half behind Yang Wei coming into this 5th of 6 events. Chinese athletes coming into parallel bars in 1st and 2nd place in the all-around. Yang Wei, Chen Yibing, Diviatovsky from Russia 3rd, Tomita 4th. When we get the scores for Yang Wei, we will see where the athletes are after 5 of 6 rotations. That will set the stage for our 6th and final performance on the always thrilling high bar.
I'm excited to watch this last rotation.
Going to be good. Boy, it always comes down to the high bar, doesn't it? That's
Yep.
what's good about it, though.
Yeah. 2004, I couldn't even watch. Couldn't even watch team final.
For France, Dmitry Karbanyenko on the floor.
Nice. First pass. 4.5 layout, punched up a front. Nice. Laid out Thomas. Fedorchenko into nice flare sequence. Setting up a wide arm press to handstand.
After 4 events in the all-around, Karbanyenko in 19th place, not a contender for a medal.
There's something you don't see every day. A nice full twisting dive roll.
I like that. Every move counts towards their A panel score, their difficulty value score.
Nice full in. Nice floor set for Karbanyenko. And he's a big guy, too.
He is a big guy. 15-4. The athletes now march to the 6th and final rotation.
Ooh.
16 points for Yang Wei.
This is going to be good.
On parallel bars. So Tomita set the bar at 15.725. Chen Yibing at a 15.05 and a 16 for Yang Wei. So his lead is looking pretty solid right now as we go into the final rotation. 1.65 over his teammate Chen Yibing. Tomita has moved into 3rd. Diviatovsky moved from 3rd down to a tie for 4th. And our buddy Fabian Hambüchen hanging in there.
He's having a great meet.
Fabian Hambüchen und Maxim Danielowski are only 2 points
Here's how they will compete in the 6th and final rotation. The first gymnast will go is Zozulia. Tomita, who you're looking there taking his final warm-up turn, he will be the final performer on the high bar. He fell yesterday in the team competition. To the floor now, Diviatowski, tied for 4th, coming into this final rotation here at these World Championships. A very good indication that the Russian team is on the rise again.
Wow, very nice first pass. 4.5, punch full, punch Rudy. Sticks both passes so far. Nice. 2.5. To a Fedorchenko. So far, a pretty solid routine. White arm press to handstand.
I mentioned the last Russian to win an all-around medal at the World Championships was Nikolai Krukov. He was the champion in 1999. He's still competing. He was here competing for the Russian team. Helped them to their silver medal finish in the team finals here.
Nice full in. Very good day for him. Not sure what happened on high bar.
Yeah.
The scoring. I don't know. But he hit all 6 events.
This is his 3rd World Championships at just 22 years of age.
Together with Fabian Hambüchen from Germany.
Didn't have his highest scores on floor in the qualifying round, only a 13.85 in the team final, had a 14.15. Expected to be a little bit higher there today. That was pretty good. You're watching the 6th and final rotation of the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships, the men's all-around competition coming up later today on WCSN. We'll be seeing the all-around competition in women's gymnastics. Chelsea Memel, the American woman who is reigning world all-around champion, she will be competing, representing the U.S. here. See if she can repeat as a world all-around champion. Nakase from Japan now on his 6th and final event. He's in 6th place in the all-around. Yang Wei is still our leader. Chen Yibing from China in 2nd. Tomita from Japan in 3rd.
Very nice full talk to handstand. Setting up for his release. Nice tuck Coleman. Starter hop full. To Thomas. Some variations of the Ribacco. A nice half talk to handstand. Very nice double-double, and it's stuck. Very great, very nice routine. Great routine.
Good job for Nakase. He had a great competition today in 6th place. He is a long shot for a medal here, but clean execution.
Take a look at the dismount one more time. Just dials it right in.
hate to say it, but because of this new scoring system, we end up seeing a lot of gymnasts standing on the podium waiting for judges to finish the math.
Yeah.
Yang Tae-young coming to the pommel horse needs a 16.5 to take the lead. That's about like needing a 12 in the old system.
Yeah.
16.5 on pommel horse.
That's a tough one to come by on this one. I don't think you could buy one of those. So far, so good. Nice. Got pretty good extension. Scissor full, setting up for his, well, could be his dismount. Nice Magyar Savado.
Wow, it's a long routine.
It is a long routine.
Again! Okay, Yang Tae-young gets through. Boy, it's interesting to watch the trends based on the new scoring system. Just about everybody does that Wu to Fedorchenko combination.
Absolutely.
That's one of those sort of compulsory sequences that you have to do if you plan on getting a high start value, A-panel score. Well, this guy's had a great day so far. Fabian Hambüchen needs only a 15.25 to go into the lead. That shouldn't be too hard for this guy who is an Olympic finalist on high bar. Currently tied for 4th in the all-around.
Look for him to let go of the bar a couple times.
Nice.
And he has watered down a little bit.
Can't say that I blame him.
Nice routine so far. A lot of full spins to eagle to get bonus. For him to stick this dismount.
Nice.
Yeah. I think he stuck.
He stuck everything.
I think he stuck 5 different events.
You know, every once in a while you have one of those days where it all just falls into place. That has happened for Fabian Hambüchen today.
Good for him.
No kidding. Nakase with a 15.425. He will finish out of the medals with the strength of the other performances that we are seeing. But Fabian Hambüchen, what a story. Tied for 4th, basically 2.25 out of 1st place. We'll see if he finishes with a medal today.
In the team finals, he did a tuck Coleman and missed. So he opted for the Kovacs. So far, so good on the slower team.
So, Laudio, this is one of his best events. Floor involved, typically his best events. He's been nursing a heel bruise, so hasn't... Oh!
You don't see that too often. Having problems on a wide arm press to handstand.
He is the Romanian national champion on this event. A really powerful tumbler.
Bounce with a tuck full in.
15.275 in the team final. 6th place in the all-around at last year's World Championships. 15.25 for that effort on the floor. Well, all eyes are on the high bar. There's no question about it. Fabian Hambüchen gave us a thrill. Perhaps the meet of his life, hoping to earn a medal today. 15.675. Slightly lower score, but as you mentioned.
Yeah, he'll need some help here. If any one of the top 3 guys fall off this event, he will definitely end up winning the medal.
In the qualifying round, he scored a 15.025. In the team final, a 14.6 because he fell. All right, Chen Yibing coming into this event, number 2 in the all-around. .65 behind first place teammate Yang Wei. He needs a hit.
Oh. Kovacs was a little close. Definitely rather be close than far. Started to Higgins. Now setting up for a lot of full spin work. Stay on that bar.
Rack up the difficulty values. And as can be predicted, the Chinese team lets go of the bar only once. You got to do it at least once, and they only do it once. No unnecessary risks there.
Pretty good set.
Chen Yibing currently in second behind his teammate and just slightly ahead of the reigning world champion by .175 over Tomita from Japan. The top 3 gymnasts coming into this final rotation are performing back to back to back. Chen Yibing first, Yang Wei will be next, and Tomita, the reigning world champion, will be the final one to go here at these World Championships on the high bar.
A lot of full spin work here. You see, setting up for his dismount right here a little early. That's why he travels so far. The length of one of the 10-centimeter mats.
All Fabian Hambüchen can do is wave to his friends and wait to see how his closest rivals compete. Now, the lowest scoring event for Yang Wei was 14.225 in the preliminary round. His high bar score. He scored a 13.95 on floor. The Chinese gymnasts were a little bit shaky in the qualifying, but all the pressure on now. 14.725 for Chen Yibing. With that effort on high bar, Yang Wei the leader. He has a lead of 1.65. He hits this routine. The title is his. Oh!
A little close there, but he's still on the bar.
Wow.
He's still on the bar. Full spin.
At the 2000 Olympics, he was silver medal in the all-around. At the 2003 World Championships, the same. Could today be golden for Yang Wei?
I think that'll be enough to do it. I think Tomita would need a 20.
He got caught celebrating a little too early in 2003.
Right.
I don't think he's going to make that mistake.
He's done it twice. Definitely a little close there, you can tell, but rather to be close. Rather be close. You can still stay on the bar in that respect. Here you can see a lot of the full spin, the eagle work once again. There really wasn't a whole lot of difficulty in this routine.
Now, this is not uncommon for the Chinese gymnasts. They, as you said earlier in the show, they tend to play it safe a little bit on high bar, do the routines that they know they can hit. That's not an accident. I think that's just their way of smart coaching. Strategy, exactly right. Because their quality of gymnastics is remarkable, but they realize that the riskiest single place in gymnastics is high bar release move. So they just said, we'll just do one because we have to, but let's not take any unnecessary risks.
In 1996 in Atlanta, the Chinese team let go of the bar so many times, and they had a super meltdown there.
They melted down.
Ever since then, they've cut it to one release, and that's it.
You got to believe in China, it was like a government mandate. Hey, let go once because you have to, but no more than that. Yang Wei will wait for his score. The final performer will be Tomita from Japan, who followed Yang Wei coming into this rotation by about 1.8. So he goes into first place with a 14.85.
Tomita would need a big
score. We're looking at a 16.6. And we've seen scores in 16-point range, but 16.6 is...
it would depend on his level of difficulty, which I don't know. Whoa.
There it is.
It's a big score.
16.675. That is out of reach, likely, for Tomita. So, do you think he knows that?
Probably. But I don't think he's thinking about it.
I think he probably knows he needs a huge score. Exactly what he needs, probably he doesn't know.
Just do your own routine. That's all you can do at this point. This is what he missed in team finals.
Oh! Hung it out there.
Hung it out. And he does a great high bar routine. Very clean. Markelov. Second release. So far, so good. Shout out Endo. Full spin to mix. Or full spin to eagle. Pardon me. A lot of full spinning. So far, so good. Very clean. Needs a huge stick here. Whoa.
Nice effort from Tomita.
He needed a stick. I don't know if he'd have still got it.
The gold is out of reach. Will remain to be seen whether he can move up into the silver medal position. He was just a little behind Chen Yibing from China, 0.175.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice tuck, Coleman.
Two other Chinese gymnasts have won the World Championship in the all-around. Li Xiaoshuang in 95, Feng Jing in 2001. Tomita, the reigning world champion.
He's going to come up just a little short today.
I think you are right, my friend. So the question for Tomita, will his medal be silver or bronze? Another step on that landing, and the only guy who stuck everything today was Fabian Hambüchen. 15.45 for Tomita. Happy with that effort. That will move him into second place. So there is your world champion, Yang Wei. So far, a clean sweep of the gold medals at these world championships for China. They won the men's team, they won the women's team, and now they have won the gold in the men's all-around.
Did Hambüchen finish third? It's going to be close.
He may have. We don't have access to the real-time scores right now, so he's celebrating.
Good for him.
There's no question there is your champion.
I think he might have snuck Chen Yibing.
The athletes will march out of the arena. We will get the final scores, the final results. We will have the awards ceremony, and then we at WCSN are going to take a break for about an hour. We're going to go to World Championship Swimming from Shanghai, China. Then we will come back for what will surely be a very thrilling women's all-around final. It's the 39th Artistic Gymnastics World Championships live. Here are the final standings, and you are right. Yang Wei gets the win with a 94.4. Tomita, the silver, 93.175. Chen Yibing is edged out for the bronze. Fabian Hambüchen from Germany had the meat of his life, stuck all of his landings today to win the bronze medal for Germany. You see the rest of the all-around finishers there. The Americans, Guillermo Alvarez finishes 18th, and Sasha Artemev 22nd.
It just goes to show you, sticks, they count. They absolutely. Those little tags, good for this kid.
You know, every coach is going to use this at home in their gym. Say, see, I've been telling you, they add up, right?
They
sticks add up. And here's a guy who, Fabian Hambüchen, who lit up this building today. Congratulations to him for the bronze medal. We will shortly have our awards ceremony for the men's all-around.
I think the only event that he did stick every single, with the exception of floor. I think he stuck every event.
Yang Wei, he knows what silver is all about. He's been there in 2000 and 2003. But today, the gold tradition continues for China. They are dominating these world championships.
A lot of flipping and twisting.
The Chinese athletes have made it very clear that they expect to win the bulk of the medals at the 2008 Olympics. At home in Beijing, a little more than 650 days away from now, by the way. Keep that in mind, Mr. Comeback. 650 days to the start of the Olympics.
No problem. I'm taking my time. I don't want to rush it.
All right. Thrilling day of men's competition here at the 2006 World Championships. Yang Wei, spectacular in every sense. Coming up later today, the women's all-around final. Can Chelsea Memel, the reigning world all-around champion, remember last year she won the world title by 1/1000th of a point over her American teammate Nastia Liukin. Can she repeat as world champion? She will be joined by Jana Bieger from the United States. Top qualifiers in the women's all-around. We'll be watching Vanessa Ferrari of Italy, Steliana Nistor of Romania, Lais Souza of Brazil, and Beth Tweddle from England, along with 18 other of the best women all-arounders in the world. Coming up a little later on WCSN Live from Denmark.